The interim government of Bangladesh has announced it will seek to extradite former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina from India. Hasina fled her home country in August during a mass uprising that ended her 15-year rule. The current interim leader and Nobel Peace laureate Muhammad Yunus says around 1,500 people lost their lives during those protests and is promising those responsible will be held to account.
We must ensure justice for every killing. The initiative we've undertaken to seek justice for the murders in July to August is also progressing well. We will also demand the return of the fallen autocrat Sheikh Hasina from India.
Well, Muhammad Yunus also says more than 3,500 people were victims of enforced disappearance alleged during Sheikh Hasina's time in power. Dr Mubashar Hasan is one of them. He's a Bangladeshi-born academic and social justice activist. He says moves to bring the former leader back to home soil has widespread support.
There is a widespread resentment, anger among the Bangladeshis who participated in the protest against Sheikh Hasina in July and August. And that anger is embedded on the feeling of seeking justice for the people who were shot dead, who were injured during that protest. Sheikh Hasina's government unleashed a state of terror to quell the protest. So to the protesters, if the main person who is behind this widespread human rights violations that took place in July and August, if she remains beyond justice, it means justice is not served. So I think by understanding that widespread popular sentiment, Dr. Muhammad Yunus and his government is now moving towards seeking extradition against Sheikh Hasina.
So do you think New Delhi will play ball here? Will they adhere to Bangladesh's request?
It is a tricky proposition, I would imagine, for New Delhi. But at the same time, I'm sure that the officials in New Delhi is coming to the terms of a new Bangladesh where Sheikh Hasina's government and her legacy is widely unpopular. It would depend on how India would like to negotiate this extradition with Bangladesh. We need to be mindful. It is keeping Sheikh Hasina in India is also a negotiation tool for India. So depending on their priorities and what they want from India-Bangladesh relationship, I think those things will come into play when they will negotiate this with Bangladesh. But at the moment, I think India would take a position that would not be supportive of extradition. But I'm not ruling out the possibility that India may also at some point consider that.
So domestically, what do you think could happen if India says no to extradition?
So I came back to Bangladesh after 7 years, and what I'm seeing now in the country is that there is a widespread anti-India sentiment among Bangladeshis. They equate the previous autocratic regime, which they call fascist, is supported by the Indian government. So I think we would see the continual rise of anti-Indian sentiment domestically.
And do you think India could be pressured even more should Muhammad Yunus's request for Interpol to issue a red notice for Sheikh Hasina's arrest materialize?
I mean, while this proposition of issuing Interpol red notice sounds quite impactful, but we all know that sometimes these Interpol red notices are really a campaign tool rather than something that takes substantially. So I'm not sure how impactful that would be in practicality.
Dr. Hassan, you were one of many people who fell victim to enforced disappearances during Sheikh Hasina's time in power. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened to you and why you ended up there?
So in 2017, November 7, I was abducted by the agents of the state from Dhaka, the capital city, and I was held in an illegal secret prison, and then I was let go after 44 days on the condition that I would not write critical writing against the government, and also I would not engage in what they call anti-state research. I have a strong connection with Australia. I reside there, and I did my PhD from Australia. So from the universities in Australia, I got the training to ask critical questions when even in the face of autocratic regime. So right now, today is November 18. I think exactly 7 years ago, I was confined in a secret illegal prison where my hands were handcuffed, my eyes are blindfolded, and I was never been able to tell that the government agents took me, because that was the deal they made with a few lucky returnees of enforced disappearances who were Bangladeshis, that if you tell government took you, we're going to kill you. So I lived with that sort of death threat for the past 7 years. And now when I finally returned home, I could see that there are hundreds and thousands people were in fact forcefully disappeared. But people are also speaking up.
And for those who are coming out to speak up, is the environment now very different? Do you personally, even though that you come in and out of Dhaka to Australia, do you feel safe to be able to say what you would like to say?
I think this is a better time. This is an encouraging time. I don't know. I feel safe. I have been speaking publicly. I will speak in 2 more events in Dhaka publicly. And I'm seeing a lot more people are also speaking about injustices, and there is a whole change in the administration. So we are hoping that this administration led by the Yunus government will provide security further, but we feel generally safe.
Okay, Dr. Mubashar Hasan, really good to get your insights there from Dhaka. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Giri. Thank you.